This week's edition of CU Sports Mag. This week we are hitting the water, checking out the polo team.
Oh, and do we have an all-star lineup? Men's basketball, women's ski team, Cody Crawford, new coach on the football team, so turn up the volume.
I think that was Cody Hawkins, but aside from that, we have women's basketball at the Coors Event Center Wednesday night taking on the Baylor Bears. Were they able to pick up a victory, or were the Bears too much clawing their way past the Buffs? All that and more coming up on CU Sports Mag. Hello and welcome to CU Sports Mag alongside Alex Rotman. I'm Adam McPherson. Alex, we got one heck of a show for you this week.
Can't wait. Kick the ties and light the fires. Let's get CU Sports Mag on the roll. So, in our first story, the CU women's basketball team hosted the 14th ranked Baylor Bears on Wednesday. So let's go to the highlights and see if the Buffs pulled off the upset. Let's roll that video. And in the opening tip-off, all the excitement in the air, little sloppy basketball, but eventually the Lady Bears get it together and pass it into Bernice Mosby, who receives the entry pass, does an outside post move, and hits the two. However, this was a back-and-forth battle all throughout the first half as Bianca Smith finds CU after the week. Kara Richards for the easy land. CU actually hit 6 of their first 10 shots, and here's one of them as Jasmine Illich soars to the hoop. The Buffs were able to ride the momentum to a 7-point lead. Kara Richards was even able to show off a little Bill Russell in scoring this quick turnaround. Richards scored 14 points on the night. Though these Lady Bears were going to go quietly as Jessica Bradley finds the basket, and at halftime the Bears took a 37-31 lead. Take it away, Evan, but look out for those ladies.
Second half, Baylor still pressuring the Buffs. Durant passes to Wilson. Easy layup. Buffs need a response, and here it is with Powers' inbound pass to McFarland. 2 points. Mwah. Jasmina Illich trying to get things going. He's going to take a step left, drives to the basket. Another fake, another 2 points for the Buffs. Baylor's Durant will threaten once again right here. It's Rachel Allison. Get the ball, nothing but net. Illich finally saying enough is enough. 3 points. She's happy. Crowd's happy. Look at those pearly whites. Unfortunately, we won't see too much more of that as Baylor just can't seem to miss. Tisdale will fake here with a pass. Get to Allison. Another 2 points. Excuse me. Yeah, pass another 2 points right there. Allison getting the pass again, putting the nail in the coffin as Baylor goes on to beat the Buffs 75-67. Coach McConnell Miller, what do you have to say?
I really thought our posts were as strong as I've seen them tonight. The combination of 15 for 25 and 42 points, 21 rebounds. I thought they did a nice job. Their guards make plays. Their post players finish. They're athletic. They all, and when they have 5 players on the floor, they play 8 tonight. They played 8 tonight. Look at them, 2 for 3, 2 for 2, 2 for 4, 3 for 5. They all make plays. And if we had a better inside-outside combination and the possibility of keeping Kara on the floor a little bit longer, could have possibly been a different night.
After a big win against Kansas State, the women's basketball team looked to pick up another win on the road against Iowa State. But the Cyclones defense had other plans as they went on to defeat the Buffs 74-55 last Saturday. Colorado started off strong, hitting 6 of their first 10 shots and posted a 16-12 lead at the half. The Buffs would hit only 3 of their final 16 shots, trailing 23-36 at the half. Jackie McFarland racked up a double-double with 12 points and 11 rebounds on the night, and Kara Richards posted 11 points. Even with these impressive standings, the Cyclones were just too much for the Buffs, dishing out CU's 14th loss of the season. Now, with that loss, let's take a look at the Big 12 standings. As you can see, we've got Baylor, Oklahoma, and Texas A&M all at the top, 11-3. Colorado down at the bottom there with 5-9.
Now, the Colorado Buffaloes suffered yet another defeat last Wednesday night, this time to Iowa State Cyclones. Corey McIntosh gave Iowa State a game-high 13 points, and Yuri Hubelek hit the go-ahead basket with 1 minute and 43 seconds left to cap the Cyclones' comeback and help them snatch a 55-53 victory over the Buffaloes. Iowa State rallied from 15 down in the first half and held the Buffs scoreless over the last 2 minutes and 8 seconds to give the Buffs their 4th straight loss. The Buffs' last gasp came when Richard Roby tried to put up a 3 for the win in the closing seconds but lost the ball going up for the shot. Roby led the Buffs with 23 points and Dominique Coleman chipped in with 11. Mike Taylor added 12 points for Iowa State and Hubelek finished with 9 points. After 2 straight road losses, Colorado returned back to Boulder this Saturday to take on Kansas State at 2 p.m. in what will be their final home game of the season.
Well, the CU men's basketball team continued to struggle last Saturday night in Lubbock, Texas. The Buffs lost to the Texas Tech Red Raiders by a final score of 95-74, extending their losing streak to 3 games. Junior guard Richard Roby led CU with 17 points and 3 other players scored in double figures. During the game, Roby moved into 10th place on the all-time CU scoring list with 1,354 career points. Jay Jackson paced Texas Tech with 28 points, and Martin Zeno chipped in 24. With the loss, the Buffs fall to 6-16 overall, 2-10 in the Big 12. Speaking of the Big 12, here are those standings. Kansas, Texas A&M at the top with 11-2, and our dear old Buffaloes at the bottom, 2-11. Our basketball team needs a little work.
Yeah, sad story.
Sad story, but that's all right. We got plenty coming up. Second half here, we have our athlete of the week and, of course, our double team segment.
Can't wait.
Let me tell you about my best friend. He's a warm-hearted person who loved me till the end. People, let me tell you about him. He's so much fun, whether we're talking man to man.
You don't need to be bigger than life to be a good dad. You just need to spend time with your kids. It takes a man to be a dad.
Lewis and Clark, great explorers. Hi, I'm Thomas Jefferson. Would you check out the West for me? Oh, sure.
And they take their keelboat up the Missouri.
Oh, Buffalo.
Then they built Fort Mandan. They're at 1804.
Made some friends along the way. I'm Secretary Will.
Through the Columbia Gorge.
There are tons of ways to help with your kids' learning. Find the really good ones on connectforkids.org.
Oh, sweet.
Only you
can prevent forest fire.
And it's true. We know we can count on you to do what Rocky says.
drown your campfires with water. Make sure it's totally wet. Then stir and drown again.
We know we can count on you to do what Rocky says.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
She is one of America's toughest drug enforcement agents. Last year, she helped convict 90 drug dealers, seize several tons of crack and marijuana, and close down 10 major drug operations. She is a 68-year-old grandmother named Irma. She set up a community drug watch that is not only changing her neighborhood, but its future. There are many ways to help in your community. Call the Points of Light Foundation. Do something good. Feel something real.
Welcome back, you crazy sports fans. Now, the future of the women's basketball team received a scare early this semester when Candace Rucker announced that she is contemplating a transfer from CU. I mean, what? According to the Daily Camera, the freshman guard came close to leaving the team during this past winter break. However, has decided to focus on the present and will talk with her parents when the season ends. CU cannot afford to lose this shining star, standing at 5'10", but disregard the height because this girl can leap and outrun anyone in the Big 12. Rucker has been a star player off the bench and on the court, though it's been a roller coaster ride of emotions with unfortunate health issues and a rough academic year. According to the Daily Camera, Rucker and coach Colin Moreau have been meeting with each other to make this semester a positive experience.
All right, now despite losing to Baylor Wednesday night, Kara Richards had a career night. Richards tied the season with 22 points and also grabbed 10 rebounds. For her performance Richards is this week's Athlete of the Week.
It felt good to be one-on-one in the post. I think for once I kind of got some confidence back, and I think that was vital. They didn't focus. They stopped focusing on me at a certain point. They kind of forgot about me, and I think I kind of snuck in. We're really going to be focused on giving the seniors a really good going away gift. I'm Kara Richards, and I'm the CU Sports Mag Athlete of the Week.
Congratulations to Kara Richards, CU Sports Mag Athlete of the Week. Well, you know what? We need a breakdown of what's been going on with CU sports recently, don't you think?
Yeah, and I think Phil and Whitney got all the answers for us coming up right now.
I think they do. Phil, Whitney, what do you got? Looks like we're having a few technical difficulties. Not a big deal.
Whatever.
You know what? I think we should take a little break.
Okay.
Regroup. See what's coming up next. All right, we'll take a break right now, and we'll be back after this commercial break.
Well, this is the picture we think our neighborhood looks like.
A land where there's not
An
a lot of
after-school program that develops children's artistic skills is about to lose its funding. The alternative, a spray can. Whose side are you on? We know dozens of ways you can keep valuable programs like this functioning in your community. We're fighting for the children. Whose side are you on?
It's only a little motor oil.
What difference is one drop of paint going to make?
This much fertilizer isn't going to pollute anything.
You're looking at a sea of excuses, created drop by people like you and me. Our waters can be saved if each of us does their part. Drop by drop. If we all do a little, we can do a lot. Brought to you by the Natural Resources Defense Council, the EPA, and the Ad Councils of the U.S. and Japan.
Who can turn the world on with a smile? Well, it's you, girl, and you should know it. Love is all around, no need to waste it. You can have the time, why don't you take it?
The best way out is by coming in. Going to family learning programs helps you and your family lead better lives. Call 1-877-FAMLET-1 because making it after all shouldn't just happen on TV.
Okay, so how this is going to work is when I connect these wires, the electricity is going to cause a chemical reaction to simulate the eruption. Very good.
If you're not helping after-school programs, you're really helping to take them away. After-school programs, wouldn't you rather be helping?
Well, sorry about those technical difficulties. I think we've got everything figured out.
Not a problem. I think Phil was a little nervous, but I'm ready to hear what they got to say.
Let's see what they've got to say. Well, it looks like we're still having technical difficulties.
I think Phil's still nervous. I don't know what's going on. But I think we should take it to our next story.
We should take it to our next story.
So,
Alex, take it to the next story.
I will. Okay. Mason Crosby will join 300 other big-time college football players this weekend as he takes part in the 2007 NFL Combine. Crosby will take part in kicking drills starting Saturday morning at 9 a.m. The All-American kicker leaves CU as the school's all-time leading scorer with 307 points. Coverage of the Combine can be seen on the NFL Network all weekend long.
All right, well, this time, Phil, I hope you're ready, buddy, because we're sending it to you once again. Double team. Take it away, Phil and Whitney.
Welcome to the latest edition of Double Team. I'm Phil Milani, joined by Whitney Christensen. We're going to be talking a lot of women's basketball later, but first we're going to talk about the men's basketball team who lost to Iowa State 55-53 last Wednesday.
Depressing loss, for sure. They had already beat them once this season. You know, you think you go into this game kind of confident, thinking you're going to win again.
And when you don't, that's a bad loss for the team for sure. Morale's definitely down.
That's true. In the Big 12, you play everybody in the North twice, and the Buffs went into Ames, Iowa, thinking that they had a really good shot, and they played really well in the first half. They came out playing, fast-paced tempo and jumped out to a 15-point lead, but going into halftime. What do you think happened, or what do you think happened in the locker room that made them not play the same way in the second half?
I'm sure they went into the locker room very confident, almost too overly confident. Walking out of the locker room, for sure they're going to win. When you are ahead 15 points, you can almost guarantee the game. But in that case, I think their confidence got to them and kind of ruined their chances of winning.
Well, don't you think that, in the first half, you build a 15-point lead? Wouldn't you think that they could do that in the second half just as easily against you?
But I wouldn't be thinking that. I'd be going into the game being like, we're already ahead. I'm ready to win. We have the morale up. We're ready to go. We're pumped. And, when you don't win, it's just, and when the team jumps on top of you, you're kind of shocked because you think you're going to win.
So when you're up 15 points a half and then you come out flat in the second half, and they didn't play well at the end of the game. What happened at the end?
They were scoreless the last 2 minutes of the game. Completely scoreless. And they had chances. They just didn't have them. Richard Robury was stuck behind the 3-point line for his last shot when he actually could have taken it. And,
Yeah, but do you think that you can blame this loss a lot on Roby, or did anybody else come to play well, or what do you think?
I mean, you could blame it on the players. You could blame it on the coaches. Why didn't they bring up a new lineup? Why didn't they ask for a timeout, call a timeout? There's a bunch of different factors that could have contributed to that loss, for sure.
Well, I don't know. The team is certainly in disarray. This weekend, they're playing Kansas State at home. Kansas State is playing very well. They're 8-5 in the Big 12. They got Bob Huggins as coming in as their coach. It should be an exciting game. But since they're dead last in the Big 12, they're going to have to pick up something last year in the last few games of the season so that they don't finish up that way.
Right. They need to work together. We have really good players. Richard Roby's a great player. He's 8 of the top scoring, and he's just, obviously they're not playing as a team. They're very hot and cold, and we need them to play together, especially for this game. You don't want to be dead last.
A few weeks ago, Patton was talking about how some of his players might have quit on him. Who knows what's really going on in that team. The team that they're trying to catch so that they can get out of the last place is they're trying to catch Baylor. Baylor is playing against Texas A&M this week, so hopefully Baylor will lose this game, and maybe the Buffs will have a chance this weekend.
But still, dead last, what can you do?
Well, there's a trivia question coming up later on the show. I'm sure that you guys are going to want to stick around to find out about that. But now we're going to go ahead and take a commercial break. But after the break, we'll be talking a lot about women's basketball and what's going on with them.
We sing for millions of girls. But helping out schools, that's the real deal, baby.
I know our love can multiply, 'cause you're the X and I'm the Y.
I'm the cute one, you know what I'm saying?
So, have you ever been backstage before?
Okay, guys, this is an abacus, an old school calculator. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Like the circle and the square, our geometry is a perfect pair.
Now, why should kids know about gravity?
Well, gravity holds them down.
I once was one, but now we're two.
I'm spinning out of control.
Want to swear my love to you.
Hello and welcome back to Double Team. In the first part of this, we talked men's hoops. Now we're going to talk women's hoops. Winning, this team lost to number 14 Baylor, 75-67 on Wednesday, but they played really well.
They did play really well. Carrie Richardson had a career high, actually tied her career high of 22 points, which is really good. Jackie McFarland had a 20-point high at that game, so they were playing really well, just, kind of fell through.
I think that maybe one of the problems that the team had was that they played really well as a team together, and then they just sort of created too many turnovers, and that's how you can pull yourself out of a game. Is just that your team themselves making that
right.
As you guys can see here, Baylor played pretty well throughout the whole game, but CU was able to battle through it and take them all the way towards the end of the game. But as you said, Kara Richards and Jackie McFarland, the core of this team, they're going to be back next year.
Right, which is good, but we are losing 2 starter seniors, which, kind of hurts us a little bit next year.
That's true. This Saturday is Senior Day. Kansas is coming into town. It should be an exciting environment out at Coors events.
For sure.
I think that the loss of Jasmina Elich is what's going to hurt this team the most. You said Jackie McFarland is leading this team in scoring, but the second scorer on this team is Jasmina Elich.
Right. And she does, is leading our team with 3-pointers as well. So she's a very big contributor to this team.
Yeah, so they're going to lose that. But that's all the time that we have for Double Team. For Whitney Christensen, I'm Phil Milani. Let's throw it back over to the guys at the desk.
All right, thanks, guys. Well, National Signing Day was a couple of weeks ago, and the CU football team added 28 new faces. Well, the Buffs added another new face this week, offensive line coach Jeff Grims from Brigham Young University. The 38-year-old Grims takes over for Coach Chris Stratus, who went back to Boise State to coach their offensive line. Grims has 14 years experience on his resume, including stints at Texas A&M as a graduate assistant from 1996 to 97, and at Boise State in 2000. His 2006 BYU linemen were a big part of the Cougars' Mountain West Conference Championship. Team CU head coach Dan Hawkins has this to say about his new recruit. We're very fortunate to get somebody that has his kind of experience, knowledge, and character. He's a great family guy and a great coach and will bring a lot to our program. He's a great teacher, and I think he has a great way of developing guys. I'm also excited about his Texas connections, and he will be a big help to us in recruiting there.
If you ever heard of Colorado football, you have heard of Dan Hawkins. However, you may not know CU quarterback Cody Hawkins. We have answers about next season and an inside look into the life of the coach's son.
Everybody's paying a lot more attention to detail. Everybody's working a lot harder. And 7-on-7, as Pat mentioned, has been going a lot better. Everybody's taking things a lot more seriously, I think, especially in the film room as far as eating and they're really putting the team first. They're trying to be part of a football team, not just a player. The best quarterback's going to play. Hopefully it's me. It might be B-Jack, because B-Jack's my boy, and Nick Nelson's a hell of a player too. I'm friends with him, and we're going to get the best guy in there. The quarterback's going to be making a lot of plays this year, so whoever that is, will be fun. I definitely expect the Buffs to be in a bowl game next year, and if we aren't, we're going to be extremely disappointed because we're working our butts off. We're probably working harder than any team in the country right now, and we're taking a lot of pride in what we're doing.
Now on the other side, the women's tennis team served up against the Texas Tech Red Raiders in Lubbock, Texas on Saturday. Number 1 doubles team Camila Blasi and Glacy Torres won 8-3. The victory of the number 3 doubles team Francisca Jedrian and Martina Sedovic allowed the Buffs to claim the doubles point and the momentum. 5 of 6 singles teams post up wins as well. Number 1 singles player Mana Maluiski finished the day 2-6, 6-0, and 6-3. Number 3 singles player Vera Nurmi smashed her opponent in 2 sets, 6-2 and 7-5. The team win improves their record to 1-0 in the Big 12 Conference. Colorado women's tennis faces off against Iowa State and Northern Colorado in Boulder this weekend.
All right, well, the men's basketball team is struggling this season. So far, they are 2-11 in the conference, sadly in last place. Some say it's due to Ricardo Patton leaving and players quitting on him, but this is still no excuse. That brings us to this week's trivia question. The question is, when was the last time CU finished last in the Big 12? That is a very good question.
You know what?
What?
But we got the answer.
Ooh.
And right after this break, so don't leave your couch. You'll get that answer.
We'll be right back.
You don't have to like me.
Or you can.
You don't have to run with me.
You really don't have to run away from me.
And we're not all that different.
I like good food, good music. I want a good job.
I want my kids to live in a world
where they are safe and loved and respected for who they are.
You don't have to like me, but if you talk to me,
you might.
We can end prejudice if we talk to each other. Call.
Tell us what you'd do.
Together we can build one America.
A 38-year-old single mother, working 2 jobs so she can raise her kids in a decent neighborhood. A 26-year-old drug dealer, a new neighbor, looking for new customers. At stake, her children. Whose side are you on? You can help the community organizations that can help her. Call us. We're fighting for the children. Whose side are you on?
CU Sports Mag Caitlin Turborg has an in-depth look at the women's club water polo team and how they are training to make a big splash in their upcoming tournament.
The University of Colorado is making a splash with its water polo club teams, especially the women's. Practices are held Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday around 6 o'clock at the CU Rec Center. The team is affiliated with the USA Water Polo Team and the Collegiate Water Polo Association. The women's team is ranked number 3 in the Southwest and consider themselves to be number 1 in life. Coach Christopher Ratch motivates the women in and outside the pool and is dedicated to the team.
My duties include basically running practice about 3 days a week. I have an assistant coach, Elizabeth Doherty and Monica Pommier, that help me out a couple days a week.
The women wear goggles to protect their eyes and caps to hide their hair, and also to protect their ears. During practice, players who aren't needed watch and help critique their teammates. Senior Caitlin Riddle spends her time as the team's goalie, as well as the captain for her teammates.
This weekend, the CU Women's Water Polo team will be going to the Bay Area in California to have an invitational tournament at Foothill College on Saturday, February 24th and Sunday, February 25th.
Members of the men's team also attend the women's practice for additional support and to help out with their scrimmages.
Season so far has been great. We graduated about 3/4 of the team last year. Therefore, we have about 12 new freshmen. The beginning of the season, I was a little bit nervous that 12 new girls was going to be a difficult season. The girls, as of now, have really gelled together as a team.
So when you want to support the team when they're in town, come by the CU Rec Center and have a ball. For CU Sports Mag, I'm Caitlin Turborg.
Thank you, Caitlin. Now, I bet all of you at home are pretty stumped right now, but I got the answer. Let's return back to this week's trivia question. In light of the Buffs' last place position in the Big 12, we asked, when was the last time CU finished last in the Big 12? CU actually has never been last in the Big 12. They were last 13 times, however, in the Big 8.
There you go. You got your answer. Let's move on with the show. Before their game against Nebraska, the women's basketball team, as well as other CU female athletes, hosted a special event to collaborate National Girls and Women's Day in Sports. CU Sports Mag Sean Hauser was at the Coors Event Center for the celebration.
Throw like a girl, lead like a champion. It may not mean a whole lot to these young girls yet.
This is actually pretty interesting.
But someday, it will. That's because Throw Like a Girl, Lead Like a Champion is the motto for the 21st Annual National Girls and Women in Sports Day, declared by Congress in 1986.
How many you got?
Just one.
Just one?
Female athletes and coaches at the University of Colorado teamed up at the Coors Event Center to celebrate the 21st anniversary by hosting a skills and fitness challenge for kids 8th grade and under to compete in various exercises.
Well, I think it's great because in this day and age, I think we all need the fitness, and I think we're all realizing the positives of wellness in our lives.
The day included everything from tennis, soccer, basketball, volleyball, cheerleading, track and field, conditioning, and even golf.
And once the kids have gone through every circuit and got this card filled out, they can come here and pick up this free t-shirt that says proud to be a Buffalo.
Events like this one are not only a great way for young girls to meet the ones they look up to, but also a great way to help market female athletics. However, when it's all said and done, all that really matters is that these young girls learn one thing.
Okay, 1 foot on each.
To lead like champions.
Good job, good job.
Sean Hauser, CU Sports Mag.
Well, thank you. That looked like a great day, but that's pretty much it. For Adam McPherson, I'm Alex Rotman. Thank you. Have a great week. See you again later.